Rugby League is back. Drum roll, please.
You're a true Warriors fan.
I have no recollection of that hot take.
We don't all have to agree.
It's good to be back.
It's just a really boring thing.
Oh, partner.
Start winning some games.
I think there'll be a lot of changes to the team.
I've got them making the 8 for mine.
Let's go. Hello, folks, and welcome back to Advantage Line, TAB's Rugby League betting podcast. My name is Carl Tiley, joined in studio by a man dressed up in a shirt. I'm rattled by the shirt today, Paul. Paul's got a button-up shirt on. Not sure I've ever seen it in my life. It has rattled me all day. How was the job interview? Did it go well? Hang on.
How much notice do I need to give?
Hang on. This is look at the state he's in.
Is it too far? What, you want it on that
in
side?
front of you.
What, really?
What a disgrace.
Crikey.
Also joining us,
Oh,
some
yeah.
true professionals on the other side of the camera.
Who are they?
Nick Tedeschi, welcome in, fella.
Well, we are in a sad state of affairs, but on the top half of professionals on this podcast. We are in a lot of strife.
And fourth man in, Ben Searle from Searley Talk Sport. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. I'm just here for Paulie's tips, to be perfectly honest, but I'm sure the rest of the podcast will be entertaining as well.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
Why
That's
are you
why I
wearing
could afford a new shirt.
Why are you wearing a shirt?
I've got nothing else to wear. Yeah.
Straight down to Tarot Cash and fire away.
What a week. We will get to Paul's tipping shortly. Gents, to open the show, I want to talk about Origin. Now, before, Teddy, you absolutely lose it and you come off the top ropes here, there's going to be some guidelines and some rails here.
Oh, boy.
I figure, because I know you're on time constraints today, Teddy, I'm going to give you each 60 seconds. And we can go around the room a couple of times, but I'm going to buzz you out when your 60 seconds is up. This will be a bit of fun. I get to press some buttons. What kind of button do we want?
Burp.
Where's that one? Oh, I've turned it down. That's one. That one. There we go. That's when you're gone, okay? So, a couple of talking points, which I'm sure you guys will want to touch on. Obviously, the teams, Terrell May, no selection for New South Wales. One that I'm interested to discuss, Kalen Ponga being selected out of the Newcastle Knights for Queensland. The woeful Newcastle Knights. There's plenty out, but Teddy,
You're the biggest enemy of Newcastle since the earthquake hit in 1990.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, I'm all in on this bit. I'm all in, and it's not even a bit at this point. Like, just they're so bad, and we'll get to that again for the 10th week straight shortly. But before I throw to you, Teddy, to kick off this Origin chat, a quote from, I'm sure, a man you hold in high regard, Paul Crawley.
If the bloke had a lobotomy, I would not be surprised.
Fans hammering Laurie Daly over the so-called snubbing of Terrell May need to get it through their heads that State of Origin is not a game of Supercoach. And as impressive as May's numbers have been this year for everyone who has him in their Supercoach team, there is no way on earth he deserved to be in the New South Wales team ahead of any of the four middles picked ahead of him.
The top rope's not big enough. I'm coming off the top of the cage, Jimmy Superfly snooker style. I'll tell you what, if Paul Crawley's got a position, I'll tell you what, take the opposite because you're probably going to be right. Terrell May has been the best prop in the comp this year, other than maybe Payne Haas. You've got nothing with Payne Haas, who's been great too. Props are the easiest players to measure by numbers. Some players are very difficult to measure by numbers. Props, your job is to run hard and to tackle. And you know what? He does a bloody lot of it. He's an impact player. He can play long minutes. He's a big body. He has been absolutely outstanding. Not picking Terrell May is utterly moronic. And I'll tell you what, Laurie Daly and Paul Crawley are in the same stratosphere of intelligence for not picking him. Absolute morons.
That's impressive, Teddy. That was 37 seconds.
I could have gone longer, but I knew I was under time.
I was expecting like 5 minutes and 37 seconds. Sealy, to you, anything to add?
Look, the knock on him has been that you don't need 80-minute middles in Origin, but look at the job he did last year off the bench for the Roosters, and he did that superbly, so there's no reason why he couldn't do that again. I'd throw Colin Matangi in the mix as well, as probably someone I would have picked before Max King as well, but hey, if Max King can do a job, then I'll back him in. Crazy things happen when you chuck that beautiful sky blue jersey on, lads. It just brings the best out of you, and you turn into a weapon. And then you look at the Queenslanders. 8 of the squad weren't even born in Queensland, so they're a bunch of dirty turncoats anyway. So to be honest, we could chuck anyone out there and would absolutely pump you. Get your brooms out, 3-0 sweep. That's all I've got.
For someone who wasn't born in Australia, you get so wound up about Origin. I love it.
I was born in New South Wales, lived nearly my entire life in New South Wales, and don't have nearly that kind of passion for the Blues. To me, Origin is very little more than an exhibition where you can gamble a lot on it.
I was just going to say that about you. You want 60 seconds on New South Wales?
Look, first of all, let's clear one thing up. There is no way that Teddy is going to be coming off the top rope like Jimmy Superfly Snooker. He's a lot closer to Jimmy Hart than he is to Jimmy Superfly Snooker, so that ain't happening. So let's just
more a lot closer to King Kong Bundy than Jimmy.
Shout out to all our listeners born in the 1940s.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on here?
So now that we've cleared that up, let's move on to the big middle forwards of the New South Wales State of Origin squad. But first of all, you got Mitch Barnett and Payne Haas. Any arguments there? No, I didn't think so. No, fine. Let's go to the bench. What have we got there? We've got Max King. I think Max King thoroughly deserves his position there. He has been one of the most outstanding middle forwards of the competition so far, and a big reason why the Canterbury Bulldogs are at the top of the table right now. So, look, I don't really care who New South Wales selects.
You don't want to get to the fourth one? Spencer Lenny?
Yeah, and by your argument, where's Corey Horsburgh for Queensland then, Paulie, mate? They're coming third, and the bloke can't get a run at all. He's behind Mo Fotuaika.
Hey, just cut it out. This is it. Once again, another season where I'll hear worst Queensland side of all time, and they'll get up and rock the boat. Don't worry about that.
Wow, hey. Teddy, back to you. Anything else on New South Wales?
Yeah, well, just while we're at it, Max King's been the one who's been touted as the one who shouldn't be, maybe in the side. But I think Spencer Leniu, sure, he had a good Origin series last year. He's been absolutely rubbish for the Roosters this year. No one's saying against the Bulldogs. They got smacked all over the park the other night. So, Block was run for more than 100 metres twice this year. He goes nuts in Origin. Well done to you. I would be picking Terrell May can do all that and then play actually proper minutes and play proper footy on the back of it. The other issue I had a big concern with was Hudson Young off the bench. Love Hudson Young. Would have started Hudson Young over Liam Martin. They're exactly the same kind of player. They've struggled. Hudson Young's played 3 Origins. They've been smoked in them all. They struggle to get him into the game if he's not starting. I 100% I'd pick him ahead of Martin, and then play someone like Colin Matangi who can play on an edge if needed, but more likely can play him in the middle for 20, 30 minutes of impact. So I would be playing Keon ahead of Hudson Young. Would be my starting point there. And the other one,
huge.
And the other one is, I don't know why I've got Connor Watson on the bench. I'll be looking at Ryan Pappenhausen and playing it back. We've been caught out with no backs on the bench, 3 times in the last 6 games? Play it back on the bench. Robson can play 80 minutes. All you're doing with Connor Watson is just trying to jam him on, just in the bench. Queensland don't often more play backs on the bench. Play it back on the bench.
Okay, that was over a minute, but I'll give you that because you were on the last.
I could see you were keen to buzz. You were keen to buzz. So I was trying to get to the minute for you. Who knows if I even really believe in the Pappenhausen statement? I was just trying to get there for you.
There you go. Surly, any concerns that I guess for both teams that 5 selections have come from the Panthers and the Roosters, 2 teams that are occupying the bottom third of the ladder?
Oh, no, because when you look at the players themselves as individuals, their quality, it's just about the players that surround them. I think your biggest concerns are in your own back paddock, lads. You got Kalen Ponga at the back. We've got 4 fullbacks. We've got 4 fullbacks that you would pick ahead of him. We're just so flush with talent at the moment. That we're talking about players that are unlucky to miss out. Queensland, you're talking about just having to fill the team sheet. You're struggling that much. And this is going to come back to hurt me in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes, it is.
It will.
Callum Ponga, fullback. Surely he's only there because of the injuries to others.
He's there because he's the best in the position for Queensland at the moment.
No, he is not.
The Hammer's a better fullback
The
than him.
Hammer is way better.
No,
Yeah, but they have no centres there.
Yeah,
I know, that's what I mean. Like because of other concerns elsewhere and
Yeah, but no, but there aren't other concerns. Like they don't have any centres full stop.
But surely there's some kid out there born in New South Wales that wants to play for Queensland, a la Greg Inglis, that they can just ring out.
Well, I thought they were going to have someone who's born in Auckland who was going to play for Queensland, Jesse Arthurs. So
Yeah, proud Rotorua boy, good Māori lad. But hey, they've got another Māori lad at the back anyway. But in all seriousness, Edwards, Tedesco, Pappy, Drinkwater, you'd pick all four of those before you went KP at the moment, wouldn't you?
fair income.
I wouldn't give Drinkwater to play for Orange Sims, let alone playing for New South Wales or Queensland.
Ponga's battling.
This is great. I've heard less complaining on an episode of Real Housewives of Melbourne, to be fair. Don't worry about what's going on at Queensland. Everything is going to sort itself out. And when we get to the big dance, that's when you'll see the likes of Kalen Ponga and Robert Toya and the Hammer just flick the switch and go, bang.
To be fair, I think KP is a product of his environment at the moment, and I am a little nervous that once he gets back into a side with some half-decent footy players, let alone some superstars, he's going to be...
And a competent coach.
Yeah.
And a forward pack that goes forward.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
all of
some
that helps.
TBC, I suppose, but yeah. Anything else, Teddy? One more time round. Anything else you want to get off your chest?
How long have we got?
Origin specific.
Origin specific. I was about to get the list out. But both of them all very happy to see him in the side for Maroons. I expect he'll start, but I think Cotter will start on edge. I expect Cotter will start prop. Fodawaker will go back to the bench. Tommy Dearden, I think it's a great selection as well. I think Queensland have been wildly underrated in this Origin. Underdogs at home, please. They'll be a bet for sure. Laurie Daly had 5 years as coach of the Blues. Why he's back there picking teams like this is utter moron. He was more conservative than Mussolini with some of his selection. He was that reluctant to make a change, regardless of whether he got beat. 4 series losses. We'll stick with the same side. This guy will flog a dead horse. I don't think he's got any idea. I'm surprised he picked Max King and didn't get him mixed up with Josh King. That was the thing I was surprised about with Laurie Daly. So I think this series comes down to coaching, and there's absolutely no doubt Queensland have a superior edge there. I think that's once again, New South Wales have too much talent for their own good.
You're so close. So close. Silly. Anything else?
Just thanks to Billy Slater for not picking... a big no thanks to Billy Slater for not picking Corey Horsburgh, because he should be in that squad. He should not be lacing up this week at Mount Smart Stadium. He should be in that team off the bench 100%. But thank you to Laurie Daly for picking Hudson Young, my boy.
Anything from you?
No, that's it. Let's move on.
Happy to move on.
Crikey.
Okay. Well done, lads. Good stuff. Hey, let's get to some betting.
Queensland suck.
Hey, you can't do that. We moved on.
Whatever happened to that guy, Searley?
Yeah. How'd we go on the weekend, fellas? Personally. Searley, start with you. You're on screen.
Yeah, had 5 or 6 singles, but nothing really to write home about. Raiders into Hosking. Had the Warriors, obviously. Had Parramatta. Nwanganetawasi had him for a try. I think probably half of New Zealand and Australia did as well. Had the Bunnies, but nothing crazy. Wish I had some juicy multis for you to report, but unfortunately, just a couple singles that kind of get you back to even, but nothing to write home about.
Paul?
I had a couple of multis get up. I was disappointed with the same game multi in the Canberra game. I had Zach Hosking to score a try, Tomoko to score a try, and Sebastian Chris to score a try at around $29, I thought. Yeah. Anyway, Sebastian Chris didn't score, unfortunately, but it was a nice weekend. Thanks.
Teddy, I'll leave you last because you've always got the best stories.
Well, I've got a lot of bad beat stories this weekend, which is nice. Had the Dragons and Manly as outsiders. Tigers, of course, was absolutely crippling on Sunday. Big thanks to Lockie Galvin for dropping that one. We'll get to that a bit later there. Had some good last try scores, actually. Herbie came from nowhere to get last try in the Dolphins last. And Ben Trebojevic, last try in Manly. But let me just say, I've got a new personal hero. And her name is Olivia Kernik, who I backed to score first, last, 1 try, 2 tries, and player of the match in the Women's Origin. She got 2 tries, last try, and player of the match. Last try at 45-1. Let me just say, I loved Olivia Kernik before. I defended her on many shows, including this one last year when Brad Dollar did more on ex-Australian coach didn't pick her. Let me just say, my love of Liv Kernik has gone to a new level, and long may she reign as the best player in Women's Rugby League, because that was an absolute fill last week. So, Olivia Kernik, thank you very much.
For Australia.
How does your wife feel about this crush?
Well, when my wife scores last try at 45-1, we'll talk.
Oh, too good. Too good. Mine was a week of misses. I did have a good little 3-league multi get up. Eels, Warriors into Bunnies. I'll take that. And that, as you say, Sully got me back to even. But I had 3 out-and-out try scorers. Just Josh Adokar. I had him in a same-game multi. All other legs saluted in that game. Alex Johnson, I needed 1 more try out of him. And Carraz, I needed a try out of him. No good for those 3 games there. How did we go on the show?
On the show, let's have a little Bo Peep here. I'll go across to, who's this guy here? We'll talk about Blake first, seeing as he's not here. Blake had his best bet, Roosters plus 8.5. That got up. His try bet was Jason Saab to score 2 tries at $4. That got up. His same game multi, Titans plus 9.5. Khan Pereira to score a try, and Hosking to score a try. That was no good. And then his anything bet had the Storm into Manly into the Broncos minus 11.5. That was no good. But in the end, he made a profit of $143.50 for the week.
We should we should have said this at the start. Have you gone through and redone all the totals?
Okay, so last week is correct. Yeah, I'll move on to Carl now.
So rewind the pod to last week's one, and that's your totals for you.
Wow, that's the total for last week, okay? All righty. Carl, you had the Knights hater. Knights under 23.5 at $1.98.
Yes, indeedy.
Way too much money.
Addo Carr into Alex Johnson. No good there. Well, Johnston was good. Your same game multi. Eels to win. Lomax
To score.
And the Knights to score between 11 and 20.
Oh.
He's overestimated.
You probably would have got a bigger divvy if you'd gone 10 and under.
Your love of the Knights has just cost you big time, Carl.
That's how terrible they are.
And then, your other bet was Eels 13 and over at $5, and that got up.
Easy.
So you had a profit of $74 for the week.
Thank you.
Teddy, Tigers win, morals. Metcalf to score a try. Raiders to win, Young to score a try, Sebastian Chris to score a try. And then your anything bet, Manly plus 6.5 into the Storm head-to-head, into the Dragons plus 11.5.
You know what? I absolutely filled up on the weekend punting, and I've just given the punters the complete wrong steer on all of it. I've come out with nothing.
Teddy was minus 150 for the week.
Oh, only 150 this week. Where was it, Paul? It wasn't 100 like it was for the remainder of the year?
I'll get on to me now. Eels, head-to-head, win. Herbie Farnworth to score a try, win. Same game, multi. Tomoko to score a try, Hoskin to score a try, Sebastian Chris to score a try. That was no good. That was at 19.57, sorry. And then my anything bet, couldn't be further away if I tried. Over 61 or more points in the Wars Dolphins game. So I was up $80 for the week. There we go.
What about Surly?
Yeah, I sent mine through.
Oh, did you?
Send them through into our chat.
Oh, shit.
Hey.
Sorry.
Hey.
Oh, I see
we had my punting.
you're off to HR, so you probably
Wow,
could.
hey.
That's probably how my punting was too, Paulie, to be fair.
He had Para head-to-head as his best bet.
It's a road I've travelled many a time, Teddy.
Oh,
Don't you
good.
worry about it.
Para head-to-head.
Yep.
Try scorer Zach Hosking.
Yes. Nice.
Same game multi, Warriors, Dallin, Herbie.
Nope.
No good. Other bet, Wicked Wingers.
Oh.
Fox, no.
Oh.
Mark N.
No, Wakani
Yes.
Nitawasi.
Yep.
DWZ,
No.
no.
Okay.
So
That was nice.
Para head-to-head was what, 210, 215 when
215,
we
yeah.
recorded?
Yep, 215.
And Zach Hoskins at 340.
Okay.
You do the math on that?
Yep. Profit.
Can he do the maths on that? He has a week between gigs and he can't do a basic maths around $100. So
Really had a
on the
good one.
spot, I'm going to say no. He can't do that.
Oh, jeez.
All righty.
Okay.
Move on
Let's move on.
to the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yep.
Plus 137.50 for Sterling.
Thank you.
Thank you, Teddy. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Paul, for your contribution.
Yeah, that was for the week.
The good, the bad, the ugly. Teddy, I'll start with you. Give us your good.
Sharks. Maybe they're the real deal. I thought they were fantastic on Saturday night against the Storm. I not talk about the Storm not being up for nighttime games, and the defence was a little bit ordinary. I thought the Sharks were right up for that game, and that I loved seeing them actually use their players in different ways. Like when they scored that try, when Kaelira was on the wing and they had Mulatalo inside to get on the outside from a scrum play, loved it. Loved the wherewithal to keep the drop goal before half time. Like really liking what I'm seeing from the Sharks. Can they go the whole way? I don't think so because they're Cronulla. But there's enough there to suggest we're in for another top 4 season from them. So I think kind of talk that they might be slipping down the ladder might be a little premature.
Okay.
Is there a bigger competitor or pest than Ronaldo Mulatalo in this game?
Even his teammates seem to hate him if you watch the interviews afterwards. Just like, Ronnie's a grub, Ronnie's the biggest pest around. Just like, you know what? If you're stirring Ryan Pappenhausen up enough to cop a high shot, you really are a jerk.
I'll take the alley-oop on that one. That was good. My good, I had a whole bunch, but I'll go with that Mark Nwanganetawasi try, and then my bad and ugly with the amount of errors that he made to probably cost them the game. But let's just reflect on
what? I'm pleased someone talked about that because I'm hearing a lot of rubbish about this rugby players try and not about the 6 knock-ons he caused that cost them the game. So, I'm glad to hear that from you, sir.
rugby player in capitals. You'll be stoked to hear, Teddy, as well. Paul Gall and Sonny Bill fighting, finally. No doubt that gets you fired up, mate. Go on.
Oh, well, that hasn't got me as fired up as reading that New Zealand rugby's pretty much dead and 20 million in the hole. So that really got me fired up. It almost made my good this week, but I'll wait for a guest spot on the rugby show before getting called on.
Come back.
Okay, we'll go on Nwanganetawasi's try. That was just freakish stuff. The bloke is obviously an insane athlete by all accounts. He's normally really good under the high ball, and he's one of the best leapers in the comp as well. But that try, the more you watch it, the more amazing it is as well. That one-legged hop. I don't know if you asked him to repeat it again. Do you reckon he could do it, or do you reckon that was just an in-the-moment freakish thing?
Freak. Freakish.
Teddy seems so disinterested right now.
I'd say work on the basics of catching a bomb, and then we'll worry about little hops.
That's a Bulldogs fan that just couldn't acknowledge one of the amazing tries.
Nothing to do with being a Bulldogs fan. Everything to do with hating rugby union.
You will acknowledge, though, Teddy, that it was a good try.
It was a good try.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
Wasn't even the try of the weekend, but it was a good try. Xavier Coates leaping mark of the year. Come on.
I put Kurt Capewell's try up there.
Yeah. He should be in Origin there.
I'll tell you what, Kurt Capewell catching a ball, I'm all for that. I'm going to have to put out the try of the year stuff. So.
He was huge.
What's your good, Paul?
Well, Teddy just mentioned it. Xavier Coates and his St Kilda try for the Melbourne Storm. I mean, he's in the heart of AFL country. Boy, oh boy, any AFL player would be proud to take a mark like that. That was absolutely sensational.
Yeah, great try. And you know what? They do a lot of work with the AFL teams down there as well. So kudos to the Storm for kind of being open-minded enough to do that.
My good was just watching the Warriors on the weekend. I had to watch it delayed, and I shut off all notifications. So I didn't know what was going on. I didn't get to see it until about 4 hours after it actually played. But I felt watching that. Don't shake your head at me, Teddy. I didn't have.
Just say no to the in-laws for dinner when the Warriors games. I'm sorry.
Despite how close that game was, I never felt nervy or scared or anxious like I do every other time I watch the Warriors.
Because you're watching on delay.
But I didn't know the result, so it was like watching live. I was still up and about, screaming at the TV.
That's why he wasn't part of the chat on Saturday.
Exactly.
I know. Sometimes we tell ourselves things to get to cope as a coping mechanism, Carl.
Hey, you going to let me finish or what?
This is an absolute shambles.
I just thought it felt like they were in control the whole game, even when the Dolphins were hot on attack in the second half. I think we had 46% possession the whole game or something like that. The only time I felt a little bit nervy was that last set when Nicarima kicked through the line to Bostock. But other than that, I thought it was a good watch. And
just on that, what about the geniuses, Kevin Walters? Who...
Hang on. Let me segue into my bad.
Well, this has only got to this. I won't go into the whole rant about Kevin Walters, but did you get the Australian commentary on that? Is that what you're going to get on?
Okay, this is my bad.
Let's go.
Claiming that the Warriors touched that ball and knocked it out. I watched that and he said that and I was like, what? What have I missed? And then when it comes to the front view and Chance or whoever it was runs out a picture, there's nobody there except Jack Bostock, and then Bostock smashes it out over the line. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what the hell is this bloke watching?
You've got to wonder what kind of message the Broncos have been getting the last few years, if this is what's going on.
So bad.
And it wasn't the only thing. Like he agreed on every try that was overturned throughout the entire game. Well, that's an obvious try. Overturned. Oh, that's overturned. And then if anyone saw the Sunday preview, he mistook the Titans and the Tigers and got himself into all kinds of mischief leading to that. So, anyway, good luck to the Perth Bears if that's how they end up with.
I was adamant I didn't want Blocker Roach to commentate our games again, but Kevy's giving him a hot run for his money.
I'll tell you what, the best thing to happen to Blocker Roach's career is Kevin Walters commentating, because all of a sudden Blocker just seems like some sweet gentle relief.
You go to sleep to Blocker's voice at the moment. Teddy, what was your bad?
I won't keep this one long. Bad. Lachlan Galvin's put down. I have no idea why players find it necessary to do those big leaps to get the ball down. Just get low. All they had to do was get low and keep the ball away from the one guy who was coming near him. It just made no sense. I know it was wet, it was slippery, but and I'm absolutely talking to the kick here, but unbelievable. West Tigers fans hate him, and you can have West Tigers fans plus me now. Grub. And also, he'll be the Bulldogs 5'8" next year. So I am open to changing my tune.
Surly, what's your bad?
My bad was just you could run it every week, like you said before, Carl. But the Knights, like, I will watch any team play footy, but they are really testing me because I don't know if you can class it as footy. And Adam O'Brien must be minutes away from not having a gig. And part of you feels sorry for him, part of you doesn't. But yeah, they're just a very tough watch.
Can you think of a team that shows less energy than the Knights? Like the whole game, they're down by a heap, and they're just meandering the ball up, slow play the ball, kick it down to the fullback, and here we go again. Like, you're down.
I was looking at their draw today because I'm so invested in this. They, like, if they don't beat the Panthers this weekend, they might not win again this season.
But they don't have Bradman, they have Cape. Like, where are their points coming from?
Exactly. The line's 17.5 this week, and I think that's still too high.
I'm also going to watch the Knights live in person.
Oh,
Lucky
gross.
you.
Prayers for you.
Spoiler alert, we'll be backing the Knights for the 4th straight week.
What's your bad?
I'm going to do my bad and ugly at the same time.
Well, let me do my ugly then,
Okay.
because it rolls on the back of Silly's, and my ugly is the Knights again. I've got some stats here. 8 of 10 under this year, and I'm assuming that the 26 in round 2 was over, whatever their total was.
Yeah.
They averaged 12.8 points per game. Only 3 times they've cracked more than 14. And like I said, unless Origin sparks Ponga into some sort of form, and they don't win this week, that could be them. Well, I mean, they're done anyway, but they might not win again. And I'm here for it. You, Paul.
Well, my bad is the Knights because they are bad. I won't go any further into it. The ugly is the North Queensland Cowboys failing to score more than 6 points, meaning that those punters who backed the Knights to be the lowest scoring team this round had to accept half divvies.
Oh. I wasn't one of them this week, unfortunately. Well, fortunately. Good stuff. Shout out the Knights. Just on Adam O'Brien, I read somewhere, has he got like a $2 million payout clause or something, and that's why they're not getting rid of him?
Yeah.
Tough.
So well done to Adam O'Brien's agent.
Oh, yeah. Well played.
Well played, because you've got an idiot coach who shouldn't be coaching a team who now the Knights can't be winning. The Knights are pretty rich, so they just need to buckle up and cop the knock, because it's not tenable anymore.
Who was wrestling the Knights to get Adam O'Brien away from them? Like,
No, the Knights very much strike me as a team who negotiate against themselves. So, yeah. And I'll say this, the Knights fan base is about as good a fan base, as positive a fan base as there is in the NRL. For them to boo a team off, I'm not sure I've seen that before. And they ran last for 3 straight years, so that was ordinary.
Well, they're about to run last again. Let's move on into the grid.
You know I'm ugly, Carl?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we cut them off.
Oh, yeah. Cut them off.
Yeah.
I've got a good rant from ugly too.
Do I-
Real good rant.
Wow, surprise, surprise.
The clock starts now.
Broncos, Michael Maguire, disgrace, sacking Martin Tapau for liking a tweet or Instagram, whatever the hell it was. Absolutely right. Here's a tip, Broncos. The problem isn't Martin Tapau, who hasn't played a first grade game this year, or doesn't seem to have. It's you've hired an absolute moron as a coach. Self-involved, old school, who's an absolutely horrible fit for the team. Yeah, they need to get a hard edge. Find someone like Cameron Sorolla who can do it in a modern way. The players hate Michael Maguire. It's obvious. They've got Trent Barrett, this genius from all the clubs he's been to in the past, as their attacking coach and assistant. This team was been second or third favourite for the premiership all year. They've got beat at home by St George on the weekend. They are an utter disgrace to the Broncos, from everyone from the top down. And until they stop hiring this flash origin coach and actually go and do some proper due diligence and hire a proper coach, they're cast. The curse of Wayne Bennett lasts long. He's laughing all the way at the Broncos. This is fantastic. And God bless anyone of those who took the pre-season advice on the Broncos to miss the act. It was a great bet. I know Carl was on board. I'm certainly was on board. And all those who wanted to kind of come at me over the last month or two into the season, just how good the Broncos were, they'll come good. Well, who's laughing now? You're wrong. The Broncos are rubbish.
Wow, hey, it's got a taste of Carl versus the Knights in it.
It's got a taste of Nathan Cleary's barely a first-grade footballer in it.
I was going to say, you might have just saved me. If the Broncos go on a run now, at least my Origin rant at the start won't pop up. That'll be the most viewed clip. You'll outdo me. My ugly was the same, but in much less aggressive terms. So
Still trying to get some friends on the other side.
You never know when you're in Brisbane, mate. You never know when you're walking down Caxton Street and you need a friend.
Alrighty. Let's go to the grid. We are recording on a Tuesday.
20th of
That
May.
doesn't affect the grid, actually. Pause the pod, go find the grid for Tuesday, 20th of May. If you don't know what the grid, I had someone actually come up to me, mention to me they've got no idea what the grid is.
Oh,
And we're just presuming people know what the grid. So this is by
let's give them
no
a plug.
means not a free, this is not a free ad, but NRLgrid.com. If you are an NRL sicko,
Free ad.
you will have,
It's the most fun you'll have with a grid.
That's all you need to know. Anyway, go find the grid for 20th of May, 2025. Come back and compare your scores. Across the top this week, 1, 2 or more premierships has played for the Warriors. Dylan Walker, teammate, down the left, has played for the Rabbitohs, has scored a hat-trick, has played for the Manly Seagulls. I was second when I did this morning on the train, but
I only got one thing, you know, like a
same.
a wizard or a.
I thought
I
you
only got
just
one
said
of
you
them.
got one right. I was like, holy smokes.
I believe that.
But I don't think I'll be second here in this group. Surely you are on my screen that I can see, so you can go first today.
Yeah, 1, 2 or more premierships from the Bunnies. Glenn Stewart, 8.72. Not a great start. Bunnies, Warriors, Bailey Sirenen, 4.23. Dylan Walker, teammate, Bunnies. Matt King, Brain, 1.26.
What?
Teddy.
Bunnies, 2+ premiership, Lottie Takiri, 7.82. Warriors, Bunnies, the great Terry Hermanson, Wizard, 1.34.
Oh,
And Dylan Walker, teammate, Souths, Luke Burgess, Brain, 1.21.
You've made that Warriors player up.
Terry Hermanson, you remember Terry Hermanson, Paul? Hard
yep,
nosed
nice
prop.
big mid forward.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Look, this is where you want to play. You want to be playing around the late 90s, Carl. That's where you make your bones.
Yeah. Okay. Paul, you want to go?
Glenn Stewart, 8.72. Jason Deeth, 3.04.
You deserve better than that. You deserve better for that.
Yeah, I thought so too. Lottie Takiri, 2.28.
I'm maxed out here. Luke Carey, 14.10. Bailey Sirenen, 4.23. And Joel Reddy, 1.61. Surly, your middle row.
1, 2 or more premierships, scored a hat-trick, Brain, Lottie Takiri, 1.80. Warriors scored a hat-trick, David Fusitua, 2.28. And Dylan Walker, teammate, scored a hat-trick, Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, 4.51.
2 or more prems, hat-trick, Wendell Saylor, Wizard, 1.15.
Good.
Warriors scored a hat-trick, by our favourite, Michael Crockett, Wizard, 0.35. Dylan Walker, teammate, scored a hat-trick. I think he did on debut. Dylan Farrell, 1.12, Wizard.
Okay,
Wow.
so we're
I
all
will not
we're
be
all
second.
fighting. We're fighting for second, third, and fourth, aren't we? Or is it just me and you fighting for third and
Third, I think
fourth?
so.
Teddy's won by he's on for a score of 6 at the moment.
Last round gets worse. Last round gets worse.
You might be lowest scoring man of the week.
I
Not-
was third when I finished it an hour or so, yeah.
Okay.
Couple
So I'm
hours.
going to be. Paul, what do you got?
Justin Hodges, 2.34. Nigel Vangana, 3.25. Akuila Uate, 3.60.
2 or more Prems hat-trick, Brian To'o, Brain, 1.80. Warriors hat-trick, Kevin Locke, 1.41. Dylan Walker teammate hat-trick, Zach Lomax, 2.21.
Far,
Hey, careful.
far out, I said. I said far out.
2 or more premierships, Manly, Steve Maddai, 7.12. Same as Paulie. Warriors, Manly, Toff Sipley, Brain 2.82, and Dylan Walker teammate Manly, his Bull Bash brother Jazz Tavanga 1.64.
Two more premierships, Manly, Brett Stewart, 7.40. Warriors, Manly, Peter Godinay, Unicorn, 0.75. Dylan Walker teammate, Manly, Darcy Lussick, 1.00.
Wow.
Wow, horrendous. Steve Maddai, 7.12. Joe Nullival, 4.63. Peter Godinay, Brain, 0.26.
Nice one.
Steve Matai, 7.12. For me, it was out of the Stewart brothers, him, Watmel, and I was like,
I tried to get clever and think of someone who like won a premiership elsewhere. I'm just like, too hard to be one of the Stewarts.
Yeah, I struggled with the 2 or more premierships category in general of trying to think of someone niche, but
yeah, really hard because you kind of have to just go through premiership lists and see if it's like too hard. Thing in your head. It's very hard to think of the 2006 premiership team just off the top of your head.
Warriors, Manly, Carl Lawton, 3.39. And Dylan Walker teammate Manly managed to get another set of brothers in here. Curtis Saranen, 1.32.
Would Coruscant, would he fit into that 2 premiership and played for Manly? How much do you reckon he would have scored?
All South. Would have been close to top scorer.
Okay, yeah.
it's too late anyway.
Scores. Surly, what'd you get?
I'm surprised we didn't hear any Lewis Brandon there with Manly and the Warriors. I thought there was going to be some Lou Brand, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Too many points.
But with the scoring, probably not, because like I thought Lottie, Takeri, Glenn Stewart, they were all going to be huge. But anyway, I got 34.4.
Oh, you are kidding.
22.1.
What'd you have?
35.2.
Yes.
Oh, Carl's missed the podium. You've lost the ball.
37.2.
Do you believe in miracles?
Thank you, Luke Keary.
That was Peter Godinay, the final square, 0.26.
Wow,
beauty.
It's hard to know who hates Luke Keary more, the Rugby Football League or Carl right now.
That is tough to cop. All right, look, straight into head-to-head. And let's talk
Are we running out of time?
Let's talk about Paul's perfect week. I don't know if I want to anymore. When do you got to go, Teddy?
Oh, no, I've got another out.
Oh, yeah, we're good. All right, head-to-head this week. Perfect, Paul. We talked about it last week. No one had picked the perfect week.
No one.
Mawadi's done the unthinkable.
Oh,
He's tipped the perfect week in the untippable competition.
Mm-hmm.
Did you multi him up? No.
I picked the perfect week. I did. Yes, I did.
He's gone and bought a new shirt. Do you think is this your greatest achievement?
Finding the local Tarakash outlet.
No, my greatest achievement is outlasting Teddy here. That'll never be beaten.
Hang on, Paulie. So you're saying that $10 would have returned $2,500 gag. You didn't actually put $10 on it.
Look, I did pick the perfect round last week. Sometimes it's more about the mana. Yeah.
You did not
I
believe.
think it's more about the money, Paul, than what you're after. I believe it's pronounced money.
Well done, Paul. Well done.
Jeez.
Yeah, well done.
Well, you know what? If this was a tipping podcast, not a betting podcast, I'd probably second that. But it's not.
Sounds like a coward that didn't back his picks.
Absolutely. That's what I'm hearing right now.
Oh, sounds like someone who was just too bloody busy.
Certainly wouldn't have been you then. I guess job interview preparations take a while.
Can we move on?
Yes, please.
Okay.
This week, only 5 games to tip. First one, we'll go Surly, Teddy, Paul, myself.
Ooh.
Bulldogs, $1.33. Dolphins, $3.35.
Doggies.
Dolphins.
Dogs.
Dolphins. Eels, $2.65. Seagulls, $1.48.
Manly.
Parramatta.
Manly.
Oh, you've thrown me here. Manly. But I wasn't expecting that from Ted. Panthers $1.35. My beloved Knights $3.20.
Anyone that's playing Newcastle, so the Panthers.
Newcastle.
You are crook. You are crook. Like, seriously.
I'm so crook. You got no idea. You've already skimmed the surface.
Oh, give me the Panthers, even though they've got 5 top-line players out.
Yeah, Panthers. Easy. The Roosters $3.20. Sharks $1.35.
Sharks.
Sharks.
The Sharks have no one. Sharks.
Warriors $1.77. Raiders $2.05.
Oh, boy.
Warriors.
Raiders, Miles. Oh, he wants to say Raiders, you can tell.
Raiders plus the points.
Wow.
I'm going Waz.
No, we don't want you.
Yeah, we don't want you, you coward. Back and with them. Tell us what you really think.
Waz. Give me the Waz. I want the Waz.
Warriors.
He does not believe that for a second. Two of the three of you truly believe it. One certainly doesn't.
Wow. Okay. We'll look at all the games this week, given there's only 5, so in depth. So start with the Dogs, $1.33, Dolphins, $3.35. As I said, we are recording on Tuesday afternoon, so we don't have any teams yet. But Crichton, King, and Mann are gone for Origin for the Dogs. Carraz is now out, along with half the rest of the team. The Hammer gone for the Dolphins. Teddy, what have you got on this game?
Yeah, Tom Gilbert also out for the Dolphins as well.
Yes.
Buster Peck would have been playing in Origin. I'll just give you some stats for the Origin period, just to kind of look at for the next kind of 7 to 8 weeks. Over this period, kind of rounds 12 to 19, favourites cover at 44%. Double-digit favourites cover at 36%. Interstate teams cover 57%. Interstate underdogs cover 64%. Interstate underdogs of 10 or more cover 67%. So just some numbers to go on there. Look, the Dogs are going to be unrecognisable this week. Yep, Burton will be there, Tracy will be there, Reid Marnie will be there. The pack is going to be unrecognisable because I think Curran's back this week.
Yeah.
But you're going to see obviously no Max King, Tupanua suspended. There's a lot of injuries in that team and a lot of players out the back line. You're going to be missing that whole right edge with no Crichton and no Carraz. The importance of Carraz to this team is immense. His early carries are hugely important. So, and we're all hoping that Blake Wilson will come in from Montoya. So unfortunately, Montoya is one of the players who will still be there. So big count against him there. Dolphins have covered 16 of 23, getting 8 or more points. They've covered 9 of 15 against top 4 teams. Dogs have covered just 2 of the last 8 when favoured by 8 or more. 2 of the last 8 of the core. I think the number's way too big here. Already starting to see it come down. Was 11.5, was 10.5 when I first started, when I last looked at this. So I'll be all over the Dolphins plus 10.5. I think this will start closer to 5.5.
Nice. Surly, anything you'd like to add on this game?
Nah, this is the one for me, though, where there could be an upset at some big value because, like you said, the Dogs' outs are insane. I just back them in off the back of their defensive ability, and I still think the players that they slot in there, guys like Bailey Hayward and that, are still really quality footballers. But yeah, 3.35 head-to-head for the Finns is crazy, and that line of 9.5 it is at the moment is also too high.
The problem isn't that Hayward's been great. The problem is then who comes onto the bench for him and the kind of depth that rolls around that. That's where I'm kind of getting concerned about.
Yours, please, sir.
Yeah, the plus is the buy here, the Dolphins plus the points, but I still think the Dogs have enough there in Connor Tracy, in Matt Burton. Toby Sexton has been playing very, very well for the Dogs this season in combination with Matt Burton. And the forward pack still has a pretty good look to it with Reid Marnie, Josh Curran, Viliami Kiko. So, yeah, head-to-head, I'm happy to take the Dogs, but the plus, was it 9.5 at the moment? That's just too much.
Agree. Next one, Eels $2.65, Manly $1.48. Moses, Lomax gone for the Eels, DCE for Manly, Olakawatu on an extended bench as well. What are we thinking here, Teddy?
I think Olakawatu probably gets released back to play this game.
I think so
My
too.
thinking. So, probably lean towards the Eels. I know they haven't played well without Moses, so there's obviously big concerns there. But Manly are just so wildly inconsistent. I don't know how you lay points for them on the road here. Power have won 5 of the last 6 at Combank, covered 4 of the last 5 overall, covered 6 of the last 7 at Combank as an underdog. Manly, they're 21 and 27 against spread away from Brookvale. They've covered just 5 of 18 away from Brookvale as a favourite. So I think there'll probably be plenty of points for this one, but leaning towards the Eels here without a great deal of confidence.
Can I change my selection after those stats?
Are you changing?
You got a para.
Are you changing?
I'm asking if I can.
Well, it's your show, Carl, so you can probably do what you like.
It won't appear in the
Let's
video.
not act like this is a democracy.
Just, Silly, what do you reckon this game?
I just think without Moses and Lomax, I find it hard to back para. I would have loved to have seen this game played with the Origin guys in, because I think at the moment it would be a really interesting game with how para looked last week and how Manly looked as well. But when you still got like Turbo, Kohler, Garrick, I don't know, there's Olakawatu, there's still enough talent there for Manly to get the job done. So I'm just backing them in on that. Surely Turbo looks at least over 40% and puts on a clinic, because he was shocking last week.
That's the worst game I've ever seen Turbo play.
Mm.
Fit or not fit, had nothing to do with some of those passes that were being thrown and some of those catches that were being dropped.
Who comes into the halves for Manly?
I think Joey Walsh will be named.
Yeah, and that's exciting. Massive reps on him, right? Apparently.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Huge reps on him, but Jake Arthur's the other possibility. There's some talk that Turbo will move into the halves. I don't think that'll be the case, though.
No, that's not the go.
I'm hearing Fogarty immediate release just for this 1 week to go there, and he will play.
It'll be good of him to play 2 games on a weekend, then.
No, he's not playing at Mount Smart on Sunday. He's scared of the trip to New Zealand, and fair enough to him. He's a smart footballer.
Your thoughts on this game, Paul?
Yeah, the Moses out for the Eels is the big concern for mine, because they were starting to build a wee bit of momentum. They're looking a lot better. Zach Lomax out on the wing, looking very, very good. I just think with those 2 out, and with the fact that Manly still get to keep Turbo, even though he has been playing well below what we would expect from him, they still have a very, very dangerous look about them. And sure, they could put Hopewadi back at fullback if they wanted to put Turbo in the halves. I just don't think that's the proper fit, though. And the forward pack still has a solid look about it. So Manly for mine.
I might stick with Manly after all that.
You just tell us once you've made up your mind.
Yeah.
Ideally before kickoff.
It's approximately 10 o'clock on a Friday night, I think.
I'll come back to you guys here. Panthers $1.35, Knights $3.20. They should be $13.20 the way they're playing. Panthers have lost 5 to Origin. Knights have lost Ponga. Is it a good thing or a bad thing for the Knights, Teddy?
I think it's a good thing, actually, that they've lost Ponga. Ponga's energy has been waiting. Ponga clearly doesn't want to be playing for the Knights at the moment. I think he's certainly doing nothing for the energy of the team. Don't know what they'll do with the team. I'm kind of hoping they'll move Fletcher Sharp back to fullback. Is what I'm hoping this week. And he's been outstanding fullback. So who knows with Adam O'Brien what he'll do. Like he's chopping and changing, and some of his decisions are absolutely ridiculous. So have a great stop. This is Carrington Park in Bathurst, so not a typical Penrith home game where they play it every year. I'll be going down to it. They've got a pretty ordinary record at Bathurst, 4-7 against the spread there. Covered just 2 of their last 11 are scoring 30 plus. 5 of 21 they've covered as a favourite of 6 or more points, the Panthers. Covered just 5 of 17 when favoured overall. There's nothing good to say about the Knights here. They've covered the last 2 against the Panthers. Just suspect this one, the line is too big in this one, I think. With all those missing, I think it's going to be low scoring. Also, there's expected to be plenty of rain around as well. So my best bet for this game is unquestionably, and Carl will enjoy this one, will be the under. Under's hitting the last 4 between these two. Under hits at 63.6 games 63.6% of games in Bathurst. 11-2 the Knights in their last 13. Newcastle, the last 5 away from Newcastle. So I am very keen the under and leaning towards the Knights.
The as I said, the total for the Knights is 17.5. I think the Panthers isn't much.
It would be higher.
25.5, yeah. Sealy, what do you reckon?
I'm just going Panthers because I find it hard to tip the Knights at the moment in any shape or form, and I'm just thinking Blaise Talangi's going to put on a clinic, and they're off the bye. They're used to this Origin window. They're not the same side as they used to be, but I think they will be too good, and I also like that unders shout 100%.
I think Blaise Talangi, he came in at the right time. He's had enough time to get himself into the team and start building some connections with the rest of the teammates. I think this is, they're kind of expecting him to own the team at this time of the year, right, and get them through. Paul, question to you on this game. If Jackson Hastings comes back and the Knights win, does he stay in the team?
I don't think he comes back. I don't think he
I'll
comes
be
back.
I think they are likely to recall former Philadelphia Eagle Greg Smith before Jackson Hastings. the way Hastings is being treated at the Knights.
Yeah, I don't know what's gone on there, but he is definitely on the outer. I think the bigger question is, if your name is Fletcher, do you have to get the same haircut? Because Fletcher Sharp and Fletcher Hunt have a couple of absolute doozies. So they either get this, Fletchers get the same haircut, or they both go to the same barber and get a 2-for-1. They are fair dinkum fantastic.
Fletcher Hunt is the Timu version of Fletcher Sharp, just quietly.
And isn't that just a standard Newcastle haircut? Isn't that what everyone wants to do?
That's just up the hunter, is it?
Yeah, that's exactly how you roll around Newcastle. You go down a mine, you get a mullet.
Yeah, look, even with all the outs that the Panthers have against this Knights team, I think they'll be too good. I think the line's a wee bit too big, but I think they'll be too good. The interesting thing for me is Blaise Talangi. Are they still keen on him, or what happens when does Jack Cole come back in with Cleary? Or what's the deal?
You see Blaise's game against the Cowboys? I thought he was outstanding. He's pretty good when he's on. I reckon they're in on him for sure.
I think he's a great player, but I thought it was a very individual performance against the Cowboys. I don't know. It's going to depend on what Ivan wants from his team, because he certainly doesn't play. He's certainly not playing the Luai role that Jack Cole and that have all tried to play. So whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, not for me to really say, I guess. But it'll be interesting to see what they do, because he's obviously a better talent than Cole.
Are you biting your tongue?
I just don't have a strong opinion, which is rare.
Wow. Can we clip that up, please? Wow, wait. I don't really know where to go from here.
Rattled.
Roosters, $3.20. Shark. Will we finish talking about that game?
Yeah, you didn't answer, but that's fine. You were stumped, so we don't expect some long-winded answer from you there, mate.
What was the question?
Who do you think will win?
Oh, to me?
Yeah, well, basically, that's what we've been doing, isn't it?
Oh. The Knights aren't winning this game. There's no way they're winning this game. That 17.5 is too high. I will be taking the under. Total points.
Pass the spliff on, please.
Tell you what, Diddy, we're a mile and a half from the tinny house here, so.
All right, Roosters, $3.20. Sharks, $1.35. Roosters have lost 5 to Origin. Sharks unaffected, but a few concerns in their back line. Surly, thoughts here?
Yeah, I think it's more the Roosters outs for me. Again, if they were full strength, then I would have ummed and ahed on this one a little bit more. But I thought the Sharks were great last week, like what Teddy said. I think Nico Hines is playing probably his best 3 weeks of footy in a couple years. And Adam Fanor-Blake, getting into his work. Yeah, I just think they'll have too much talent for a Roosters side and the only settled lineup this week, really, across the whole competition. So I'll back them in to be too good off the back of a massive confidence booster last week.
Teddy, any stats to back this one up?
Oh, maybe something's wrong with you because I have no strong opinion on this game either. So,
We're losing him. We're losing him.
Send help. He's blinking twice. I just don't know how you don't back the Sharks with no outs. Like they're a top 4 side at the moment. They've got no outs compared to 5 outs for the Chooks. Sharks have covered their last 3 at Gosford. Pretty poor for win, but kind of suspect that was a turnaround game there. Roosters have a pretty good record, getting 6.5 or more. Covered 9 of the last 15. Leaning towards the Sharks a bit. What I'm really looking forward to is hopefully the rugby player stays on the wing and is matched up against Ronaldo Mulatalo. Because that is going to be some battle. And I'll tell you what, Ronaldo might be a jerk most weeks. He'll be fully on the Ronaldo side as he stands over the rugby bloke. So that's one thing I'm hoping for.
Well, I hope we need to start a petition to make sure you're the person that gives out the award for Try of the Year.
I'll happily give it to Xavier Coates. He's been a great fella. I report's a wonderful human.
Yeah. Paul, what do you think here?
Yeah, Sharks unaffected by Origin commitments. The only slight negative I can see is that was a big game for them last week against the Storm. That was one that they really got up for, and teams can drop off the week after they've had to get up for a big one. That's the only slight negative. But boy, the way they've been playing, they just look just too strong for a Roosters team that have played well, but with all the outs they've got. I'll be getting on the back row of Nakora and Wilton to score a few tries. I think we might see a few there on Sunday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask Teddy, how hard is it to dig out, given you're the stats guru, teams on a bounce back after the Storm and how they perform?
Yeah, let's go to the next game and I'll come back to you on that one, but I'll dig it out for you. I'll find the slump for sure.
Next one, Warriors $1.77, Raiders $2.05. The Warriors looking for payback from Vegas. Barnett gone to Origin. Hudson Young gone for the Raiders. Surly, I'm very interested. Fisher Harris out. Excuse me.
Sorry.
Fisher Harris out. How the makeup of our forward pack.
Forward team.
Yeah, like the makeup of our forward team is going to be interesting. Everyone's rattled. I'm the only same one here.
So we're normally doing this in the morning. Okay.
This is crazy. Jackson Ford back, Bunty Fob back as well, I believe. Again, team hasn't been named yet, but I believe both of those guys, well, according to the website, they're good to go. Tom Ale ripped up for New South Wales Cup on the weekend, so he could be a bench middle option as well. But yeah, obviously losing Fish in the same week where you lose Mitch Barnett really hurts. That wasn't something we had planned for. We were hoping to lose one of our captains, but not both of them. So certainly hurts against a Raiders pack that should be missing someone like a Corey Horsburgh, but they're not. For me, though, this just comes down to how good we've been at home, how reliable we've been, how tough we've been. We've had outs basically every week of this competition, and we've still found a way to get it done. You'd have to think Vegas would be a motivator as well, a chance to show that we are the real deal and beat a top team, because people out there are still saying we haven't beat a top team. So, yeah, in front of a sold-out Mount Smart, the Louis Brown jerseys on, I think this is going to be a special night, and I think we get the job done in a close game against a quality Raiders side.
Sold out Mount Smart with extra capacity too.
Yes.
She's going to be rocking.
Yep.
Paul, what do you think?
Well, first of all,
you didn't even want to tip the Warriors, so.
No, that's not true. That is not true. Well, I tipped the Warriors.
It's pretty true, to be honest.
First of all, it'll be very interesting to see the makeup of that forward pack. Do they start Jackson Ford and Murata Neokore in the front row, or Jackson Ford and Bunty, or Jackson Ford and Jacob Levan? I don't know.
Dimitrik. We've still got names there.
Yep. Yep, exactly. And it's good that they've got a number of those players have already gained a whole heap of first-grade experience already this season. I guess it all comes down to, well, defensively, the Wars have been a lot better this season. And I think the way that they pull that, they only got beaten last week, or the Dolphins only scored in that last 5 minutes after the Wars were down to 12 men. And I thought that right-hand defence with Kurt Capewell was as solid as a rock up until that point when they went down to 12 men. So that was a huge, huge improvement from the week before. So I think if they can keep that sort of tight, they might frustrate this Raiders team. So, yeah, I'm on the Wars.
Teddy.
Well, before we get to the one the Raiders are going to win, we'll circle back to the Melbourne playing Melbourne. Last 5 years, teams win at 50% the next week, cover at 46%, lose at a return of minus 16%. POT, so kind of, I would say the team's slightly underachieved of playing Melbourne.
Yeah.
No huge edge, but slightly underachieved of playing Melbourne. Whereas when you go to Penrith, teams win at about 60% off playing Penrith. So cover at about 60% off playing Penrith. So don't know what any of that means, but just...
Well, no one played Penrith last week, so that's good.
Yep.
We didn't miss anything there.
Didn't miss anything. Canberra have won their
Oh,
last...
no, you're good. We're good.
Finally, this is why I've been forced into having no opinion and stuff. I finally have a strong opinion on something, and this is how I'm treated. Canberra plus 2.5 is a great bet. They won the last two against the Wales, won 30-8 in round one, obviously in Vegas, where they absolutely towed them up. The Raiders, 8-2 against the spread off a win, 8-3 against the spread off a win of 13 or more, covered 5-6 off scoring 40+. Interstate underdogs have a great record this time of year. They cover 56% as an underdog, full stop. Warriors covers 5-13 as a favourite. And there's a little angle here that I've been playing that's been pretty successful. Home teams $2 or shorter off travel, win at only 43%. So obviously they were in Brisbane last week, having to return home. The +5 differential has been getting plenty of talk about as well for a team that's second on the ladder. I think the Warriors are a good team, but I don't think they're the second best team in the comp. And I think that there's going to be a little bit of flattening out over the next little bit, ready for the Warriors. Maybe not through the origin period, maybe it'll be at the back end of the season, but they're not going to stay at second. So I think the Raiders are a better team than the Wires. Getting a lot of certainly was not being aggressive all episode with his Broncos. So he's very aggressive right now.
No, well, I was going to say I agree. We're not the second best team. We're the best team. So I've agreed with you there, Teddy. 300%. We're not second. We're the best.
I think the Wires go down this week. I think the Raiders are a nice bet.
Another stat for you to find, please. How do the Raiders go at Mount Smart? Sold out on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, gee.
I know that the Warriors have won 4 of the last 5 at Mount Smart.
There you go.
But that goes back. You don't tend to play them at Mount Smart very often, from memory. We'll dig this out, but I think that 4 of the last 5 has been over the space of 15 years.
Still 4 of the last 5.
Yep. I agree with Carl wholeheartedly.
We're running the old stats and bikinis angle here, are we?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, you're the one that said the Tigers were morals last week, okay?
Well, I did tell you Manly were morals, and I told you there was a moral the week before, so 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Meatloaf wouldn't lie.
Okay.
You don't want the Raiders Mount Smart record? Well, I don't know. I'm just pulling it up for you, Carl. You asked the question. I'm just trying to get it for you. I know that they've played twice in the last 5 years, and the Raiders haven't covered either of them. So,
perfect.
Sorry, the Raiders covered both of them and haven't won either of them. So, Raiders since 2008, Raiders are 4-8 at Mount Smart. Sorry, that's not true. They are 3-8 at Mount Smart, and they have covered 6 of the 11, so 6-5 against the spread.
Never been more confident.
Mount Smart, huge edge. Oh, looking at it, I really don't see how the Warriors do lose, actually. So, Warriors good things.
You said that like it was a question, like you were on Anchorman reading a teleprompter.
Warriors good things.
Yes.
Chips and Rays.
Sure. Oh, Teddy.
All right. Best bet Dolphins plus 10.5, $1.90. Try scorer, no price there yet, but Herbie Farmworth to score. He'll be running against whoever the Dogs shove on their right edge, and that'll be Blake Wilson. And actually, I don't know they're going to put in the centre, so we'll see there. But hopefully, Herbie gets across. The same game multi, again, no prices, but I'm going to get Kale Hero to score a try, Britton Nickero to score a try. And the $25 anything else bet, I'm going to go double Newcastle Knights into Canberra Raiders. I think that is $7 and something, $7.15 when I had it last night.
Yeah, that's a donation. My best bet is the Dolphins plus 9.5 into Manly, $2.81. My try scorer, KL Iro, just because he scores tries. My same game multi, Raiders are conceding 53% of their tries to left-sided attacks. They're struggling down that side, so I'm going Warriors into RTS and CHT, who scored in 2 of his 3 games at Mount Smart this year. That's a double-barrel delight. They've both got the double-barrel last name, so if you know your rugby league, that screams tries, so jump on board that. And my 25 anything else is New South Wales 3-0 sweep.
You're making things harder for our mate Paul here.
No, because that'll be a losing bet after the next week.
Oh,
We've got a podcast before then.
Yeah.
oh, do you want me to change it?
No, leave it in there.
Thanks.
Yeah, you just can't double up in your origin bets next week.
Okay.
Paul, you go. I'm still trying to work out what I'm doing here.
Okay, my best bet, it's a dirty 30s bet.
Yes, I like a name. This is good.
Taking all the teams that are paying in the $30s this weekend. That's the Bulldogs at $1.33, the Panthers at $1.35, and the Sharks at $1.35. That comes out at $2.42. That's my best bet. My try scorer bet, I'm going to go with Britton Nickero to score a try for the Sharks. My same game multi, I'm going the Panthers game here. I'm going the Knights to score less than 10 points. Going Panthers to win. Yeah. I'm going to go Blaze Talangi to score a try as well. No, I won't go Talangi. I'll go Alamotti to score a try.
I thought you were going to tip a Knights player to score there, no? And I was like, you can't if you're backing them under 10 points. Don't.
I'm very there to score a try.
Any Fletcher to score.
In fact, no, I want to boost it up. I want to make it interesting. Fletcher Sharp to score a try, Knights to score 10 points or less, Panthers to win, and Alamotti to score a try. There we are. And then for my anything bet, I'm going to go with the Sharks 12 and under into the Bulldogs 12 and under.
Okay. My turn. Best bet. Knights under 17.5 points. Try scorer also had Herbie Farmworth. Same game multi. I have got Panthers head-to-head under 44.5 and only the Penrith Panthers to score 20-plus points. That's paying $3.48. And then my anything bet, Dolphins 1-12 at $4.20. Nothing from Blake as yet, but that will come, I would imagine. He's pretty consistent.
Can I just say you missed a real opportunity to go that 420 into a blaze and make it a tinny house bet there.
Don't get your head over the gutter, pal. This show's been enough of a rant. We do have kickstarting tomorrow if the show comes out today. It might come out on a Wednesday, but
if it comes out at all. Shout out to the censors.
Legal might have a look at it first.
yeah. State of Origin promo.
Oh,
Place a 3+ legs same game multi-bet, and if it loses by any number of legs, get up to $25 bonus cash back.
It's a $25 free shot, baby. That's as good as it gets.
We're not saying free, but it's if anything loses, any leg loses, you get $25 bonus cash back.
Right. I get what you're getting at. Yeah.
Live from tomorrow, 21st of May, Wednesday, 21st of May.
How many do you get? Just one?
Just one per person.
nice.
Really?
That's a great promo.
Yeah, that's a ripper.
Surly, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, no worries. It's been a pleasure as always. Certainly lightened up my Tuesday arvo.
Brought mine down, if I'm honest. It's tough. Tough to get through. When we go home. Teddy, thanks for accommodating the change in time.
Pleasure. You've really freed up my Wednesday morning. So fantastic.
Paul, nice of you to dress up.
Yeah.
Is Tara Cash dressing up?
I think it's Rod and Gun.
It is.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can take your taro cash and
Aro cash is that from Rarotonga, isn't it?
Even Rara, is it? Like, that'll do us before we get in trouble. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next week to do it all again.